Hey, Paul, it's Doug Plank. I was contacted by Alexander to do a reach out to you. So here it goes. I know you're a great Bear fan, and thank you for your support through all those years. Some of the years weren't great. Other times, fantastic. 1985, I wasn't on that team. I enjoyed watching the games on television like everybody else. I had missed it by a couple years, but being on the Chicago Bears was fantastic. I'll just tell you my biggest memory of a person that I met in Chicago wasn't Mike Ditka, wasn't Walter Payton, it was Buddy Ryan. Buddy Ryan was a sergeant on that team. He literally commanded the troops. And when he spoke, the rooms were silent. That defensive meeting room, you could hear a pin drop. Buddy Ryan had that kind of authority over those players. And when he asked them to do something, they did it, regardless of whether there was pain and suffering, how much effort it was going to take. He was just that commanding of what he wanted on that defense. And I'll never forget those memories because those teams played with so much heart and love for each other. It was a great memory. The Hitman, the Hitman really came out about after I left the Chicago Bears. And, that was regarded as Gary Fensick and myself because if it wasn't Gary hitting somebody, it was me. And I just felt like everybody goes through a progress in life, and the NFL was going through a process at that time, what they could allow people to do in terms of hitting, receivers, running backs, other players. And so we got this title as the Hitman, and Gary and I, we would play games within games. And what does that mean? Well, you obviously are playing a game, against your opponent. And you're trying to win and you're trying to score more points than they are. But Gary and I would start trying to challenge each other on how many tackles each other could get, or interceptions, or big plays, or other things that we could do during the game. So we always had a blast. I mean, we always ran around that field like it was the playground. It wasn't the NFL. We were having fun. This was something we enjoyed. And we would look at it afterwards, and yes, we wanted to win games, but we also wanted to just challenge each other so that regardless of whether we lost or won, that him and I would be playing to the very top of our game. And so that was something I never would ever forget. And the last thing I'm thinking of as far as memories go, the most memorable game that I ever had as a Chicago Bear was a Monday night game against the Rams. And Joe Namath, who had spent most of his career like Tom Brady at one team, at the very end goes to another team. He goes to the Rams. And this was a Monday night game. Well, Joe Namath, I grew up in Western Pennsylvania. Joe Namath came from Western Pennsylvania. All through high school, I was a high school quarterback. Joe Namath was a quarterback. I had his poster up in my bedroom, and I would watch that thing. He's the last person I saw every night before I fell asleep on my bed, that poster on the wall. So you can imagine what it was like trying to play against somebody like that in your life. And this night was not just any other night. I was able to get 3 interceptions off of Joe Namath. One of them didn't count until late in the fourth quarter because we had somebody jump off sides. But that was amazing. I mean, for me to get interceptions and and actually get a chance to meet Joe Namath also. Before the game, a lot of times players meet at the midfield and would have a little bit of association with each other, challenge each other, all those, give smart, wily comments before the game started. And but just to go over there and just get a chance to see him. And I've met him several times afterwards and just let him know, just what a hero he was in my life and what a tremendous role model. And so I think that sums it up. I think that, looking back at my professional career with the Chicago Bears, I can't say anything bad about it. It was great from the very first day that I was there to the very last day that I set foot on that premises. So great memories and great fans like yourself that really made it a special experience in your life. Go Bears.